My name is Maggie, and I'm the second and privileged speaker. And continuing with my partner's claim, is the third secondary claim, which is death penalty is hypocrisy. Number 4, death penalty does not necessarily deter crime rates. Number 5, death penalty discriminates. And number 6, inmates with mental illness may be sentenced to death penalty. Death penalty is hypocrisy. It is a hypocrite action to murder someone for murdering someone else, because then we'll be doing the same thing. The American Civil Liberties Union says that when the government needs vengeance disguised as justice, it becomes complicit with killers in devaluating human life and human dignity. In civilized society, we reject the principle of literally doing criminals to what they do to the victims. The penalty for rape cannot be rape. Like for murdering, the inmate will not bring back the victim, but it will bring something to our society that will be vengeance and hatefulness. Death penalty does not necessarily deter crime rates. That's number 4. There is no credible evidence that death penalty deters crime. This argument is based on hypothetical situations. People commit murders at the heat of the moment, out of rage, when they are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. People react different in different situations. They commit this kind of crime without thinking or planning it, giving little thought of possible consequences of their actions. And the few murderers that plan their crimes ahead of time, like professional executioners, are more careful with every movement they make, pretending not to get caught. Because of this, one can assume that studies that show the death penalty rates deter, well, it's actually invalid. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, there is no credible evidence that the death penalty deters crime more effectively than long terms of imprisonment. States that have death penalty laws do not have lower rates or murder rates than states with such laws. In the article, should death penalty be allowed, pros and cons, says that states that have abolished death penalty have not shown any significant changes in either murder rates or crime rates. Number 5, death penalty discriminates. Brian Stinson, a professor of law at New York University School of Law, said, discrimination is unavoidable. Evidence in the administration of capital punishment in America. Death penalty sentences are imposed in a criminal justice system that treats you better if you are rich and guilty than if you are poor and innocent. The presence of racism in death penalty has not decreased with the time and is not limited to a certain region of the country. According to Richard Sider, in 82% of the studies reviewed, race of the victims found to influence the likelihood of being charged with capital murder receiving the death penalty. For example, those who murder whites are more likely to be sentenced with death penalty than those who murder blacks or Hispanics. According to Justice Harry Balkan in the article Death Penalty in Black and White, even under the most sophisticated death penalty statutes, race continues to play a major role in determining who shall live and who shall die. Number 6, inmates with mental illness may be sentenced with death penalty. According to American Heritage Dictionary, any various conditions characterized by impairment of individuals' normal cognitive, emotional, or behavioral functioning and caused by social, psychological, biochemical, genetic, or other factors such as infection of head, trauma, are also called emotional illness, mental disease, mental disorder. According to the Amnesty International webpage, some of the more common illnesses experienced by inmates on death row may include bipolar disorder, borderline personality, post-traumatic stress disorder, and schizophrenia. The execution of mental Ill Offenders article demonstrates that more than 1,000 individuals have been sentenced to death penalty since executions resumed in 1977. Many of these people had not shown any sign of mental illness before the crime was committed. In this case, it's harder to prove when a person is mentally impaired because of this, one can conclude that professional help such as psychoanalysis or psychoanalysts or psychologists or psychiatrists should be given equivalent to the punishment of death row penalty to inmates. This could help them on specific areas of mental illness that they might have. Another way to replace death penalty is life imprisonment. Thank you.